Good afternoon. Welcome to the Rethink Plastics Challenge Award ceremony. In this event, IDB President Luis Alberto Moreno will be joined by Natura Chairman Guilherme Lealabout to talk about leadership and sustainability, followed by the announcement of the Rethink Plastic Challenge winners. This event will be held in English with interpretation into Spanish. Para escuchar el evento en español, haga clic en el icono del mundo que encontrará en la parte baja de su pantalla y seleccione el idioma. Please send your questions via the Q&A found at the bottom of your screen. Juliano, please go ahead.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juliano Seabra. I'm the head of the Innovation and Creativity Division at the Inter-American Development Bank. It's a pleasure to be with everyone. And I would like to give a few words before we start the conversation with President Moreno and Guilherme Lealabout. First, we have been working together with MIT Solve on the Rethink Plastics Challenge for almost a year. And we have been working on a problem that is absolutely important on our society right now. So how we handle the challenge of single-use plastic in Latin America and the Caribbean that has very important consequences, both economically, environmental, and in the way that we produce and consume in our region. So we partner with MIT Solve in order to reach out to the global ecosystem of entrepreneurs and innovators and trying to find out which could be the potential solutions that could be applied to our region. And asking governments, consumers, business, etc., and how can we tackle the problem. We received a record-breaking 550 submissions in English, Spanish, Portuguese, transforming Rethink Plastics in the second best in the history of MIT Solve in terms of number of submissions. The Rethink Plastics majority women judging panel of industry, academic, and social leaders from 12 nationalities debated to select 9 finalists for the Rethink Plastics Challenge that are together with us here during this session. And to summarize a little bit this whole process and the 9 finalists, and before I pass the baton to President Moreno and Guilherme Lealabout, I would like us to invite everyone to watch a very short video that we produced for the final. And before we do so, I'd like to stress again my gratitude not only to the team on MIT Solve, all the judges that donated their time to evaluate with us, and the teams on the entrepreneur sides and the participants, and also on IDB side that put a lot of effort on this process. And with that, I'd like to ask for the video and then invite President Moreno and Guilherme Lealabout. And thank you so much, Guilherme and President Moreno, for joining us here. So video, please.
My name is Brian Bauer. I lead Circular Economy and Alliances at ALGRAMO, and we have a solution to this problem.
I'm Joao Aguilar. I have grown up on the coast of Chile, seeing the accumulation of algae on the seaside.
Hey everyone, my name is Sebastian, and I'm the founder and CEO of ArcFly.
My name is Francisco Cruz, and I'm CEO and co-founder of ATANDO CABOS. ATANDO CABOS seeks to end the massive contamination of plastics.
Hello, my name is Felipe Cardoso. I'm CEO and founder of PANPLAS. Did you know that 1 billion plastic bottles of lubricant oil are discarded every year only in Brazil?
Hi, I'm Carla Chavez. I'm Ecoins Director. Ecoins is the system that rewards commitment to recycling.
Hi, my name is Laura Barbier. I am the CEO of Myco, a company leader in the collection and use of recycled plastic.
Para este gran problema creamos Micrastic.
My name is Joseph Klatt, and I'm the business manager at Precious Plastic, an organization that's dedicated to making plastic recycling accessible.
Well, I hope you are all excited as well. So, President Moreno, please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Juliano, and good afternoon, everybody. It's my real privilege to welcome to this conversation Guilherme Lealabout, somebody I've had the privilege of knowing for a number of years, but more importantly, to admire, because he's somebody who not only has built an amazing company, Natura, which I am sure all the ladies listening here know of all the creams and all the great beauty products that Natura produces. But he did that thinking that the essential elements were in the rainforest, which is one of the ways, of course, to create sustainability. And he has not stopped there. He's worried about education. He's worried about children's rights. And more importantly, it's probably the first company, the listed company in Latin America that became a B Corp corporation. This is a company that is measured by what it's doing, not only for its shareholders, but more importantly for the community under which it operates, and it has a set of standards that it must meet. And equally, I would say that Guilherme is the kind of entrepreneur Latin America needs today. He clearly understands better than anybody that is about that stakeholder approach that looks not just at business as the way Milton Friedman used to look at it, that the business of business is business, but rather a more broader approach to think that a business cannot be successful in an environment that is deteriorating, in which society is not progressing. And this is exactly who Guilherme is. And he has a true passion for issues of sustainability. And I would like to begin there, because we've had many of these conversations, Guilherme, and tell us how you got into this and supporting all the sustainability issues that you have done over the years.
President Moreno, it's a great pleasure to be with you all, and thanks for the invitation, Juliano also. Thank you for your very kind words. As you know, as we have been talking for a long time, I am on the road for more than 40 years. Natura is 51 years old now, and I started 2 of the companies when I was, it was 40 years ago, almost 79. The first decade I became personally with this experience very impressed by the power of the entrepreneurial spirit of hundreds and thousands of women. This is the first, the decade as a whole became, show me that everything is possible. Yes, we can somehow, all of us. And the thousands of women has proved this. After this, we reached, in the beginning of the 90s, it was Eco 92. And the 4 or 5 small companies that we were at that time became one, and we decided to express our deepest beliefs, our purpose in this new company that became Natura as a whole. And this is a milestone because we spent almost 2 years, between 1992, thinking what we would be committed. What we were really committed to. And at this moment, we expressed our deepest belief about the interconnection of all of us. The interdependency that we are connected. The pandemic is showing how interdependent we are, like or not. And at that time, we also expressed our deepest perception about the richness of diversity and the whole of the companies. The whole of the companies as change agents, not only promoting economic profits and gains, but also being a change agent through the many different tools that a business has operates in its hands. So at that moment, we have been trying for many different experiences in Natura and outside Natura, sharing this new perception, this culture, that at that time it was a choice. At this moment, I think it's a must be.
Thank you, Guilherme, for that. And as you say, before was an ideal, today is a must. And that is so true. You know, I heard President Piñera to be perhaps described best this whole question of plastics. He said, a one-use plastic, typically to produce it, it takes literally seconds. People maybe at best use it for a couple of hours, if that. And then it takes 40 years to decompose. And I think that is the perfect kind of encapsulating what this means. And tell us how you have tackled these problems of plastics. I mean, you basically are in a business, as you were describing, that employs millions of women, which is the other wonderful thing that you have done, which is essentially empower women. And through that, you know, how you have seen, you know, millions of women change their lives. But what you're doing exactly in this front, in the way you think of packaging at Natura.
Our first action to reduce the environmental impact of our packaging, it was in '83 when we launched the refill of our shampoos and so on to reduce the use of plastic in 1983. It was a very beginning, it was totally innovative. And it was not the solution for nothing, but it was a real way to invest and to create a win-win condition, because we were reducing the plastic, the value of plastic that we were using and disposing, and at the same time we were investing in the loyalty of our consumers, because if he uses another time the main packaging, not the refill, he is still going on and repeating its purchase. So there are huge opportunities. This is our deepest belief in trying to bring solutions for social and environmental needs. There are very interesting things to be done. We have been dealing, and we believe that the big companies that process, that use, as we today we have our figures are very representative. This top of the chains must be involved in creating common solutions. We will not reach anything alone. We need to be connected to the main players that produces and use, to be innovative, to create not only technical solutions, and we need many of them, you know better than me, but also to enhance and to help to change culture. The consumer has a key role in all of this. What we have been doing, there are so many initiatives. The first thing as many other issues, is to measure, to understand what are we producing and disposing, and how is being treated, what happens. I remember once when the beginning of this century, when Fritjord Capra visited us at our facilities in São Paulo, and he told us sustainability is about to understand each part of your production products, where they came from, how you transform them, the energy that you use to do this, and how it is used, and how it's disposed back to nature. So to understand the whole chain, it is a key question, and never ends this process. And to establish targets, it's really important. We have been doing this through the time. At this moment, two months ago, we just launched our commitments that we call Commitments to Life. It's the first time that the group as a whole, the 4 brands, Natura, Avon, the Body Shop, and Aesop, made this commitment. And one of the pillars is to invest in this next decade in a circular economy. We have the commitment to have 100% of our packaging plastic most part made of plastic to be return to be part of this circular economy with many different solutions being built. So we have been part of Ellen MacArthur movements around innovation in this segment. We have a lot of initiatives, but as we know, there is no silver bullet. There is, we need to have many initiatives to deal with a problem that has this size, that is plastic.
Yeah, but you essentially, aside from doing all these wonderful things, you are an amazing marketing company. Tell me how people are reacting beyond the issues of loyalty that you were describing early on. How much of an awareness is there for people to understand the linkages that exist between having plastic and how non-biodegradable it is vis-a-vis other forms of packaging? Do you find people in general wanting you to do more in this space, or is it more because you're leading on it? And of course, that requires a real systemic approach that not only touches your business, but equally governments and others have to be participating.
I totally agree that we need to look in a systemic way. We need to involve all levels of players, and as we said, the consumer is one key point, and the change is not so fast as we would like. All of us, I believe that, but it's going, it's growing, and it's very clear the perception that the consumers, more and more consumers are trying to understand what is behind the facade of the products that they consume. Without governments, regulations, public policies, we cannot stimulate. If we subsidize fuel, the oil economy, and we do this, and we not incentivize in the right way the change, the substitution, the innovation, we will not get there, not just with some heroes guys that are trying to embrace the challenge. We need all people participate. We need workers, the co-ops that are involved in recycling need to have very social and minimum conditions of life. We need to involve it's a huge, as you know, challenge, and we need to bring to the table in a permanent and long process, but touching the key points. Subsidies is one of them. To put prices on the side effects of each activity, there is no other way. The price system must work in favor of the new design that we want to have to our economy, to our society. So it's a lot of action that must be combined.
Thank you. I have a lot of questions, many questions coming, and I'm sorry that I'm not going to have the time to give them all to you, but I pick a couple of questions coming from the audience who is following us as we speak. One of them is, how do you think that the pandemic might reshape the relationship between consumers and companies?
It's a good, thanks for the question, but nobody knows. I think that it will be, we need to make choices. As consumers, as citizens, and as companies, as governments, we have a huge opportunity to enhance our systems, to be more transparent, to be more connected, to work together. The technologies we are using, we never imagined that we could be so close, being so distant. So we need to understand how to work together more and more, and this is for sure a key key point. Could you repeat the question? It was about the.
It's basically about how that relationship between.
Relationship. Sorry. But I think that it's growing, as I said, the commitment, not only the consumers, but the markets, the financial markets. ESG is a word that everybody uses now. 5 years ago, nobody knows exactly what does it means. So there is a lot of change going on. And I think that consumers will be using much more technology for sure. I think that all of us will be a little bit more concerned about the connections. But at the same time, we are seeing that we are human beings that want to be connected. The beaches are showing how dangerous and human we are. So I think that it's a huge opportunity to redesign the relationships, to use better technologies, and to enhance and to be closer, to be closer in the sense to be more transparent, to understand, to have traceability, to have a lot of things that builds sustainability and builds this commitment to other generations.
I have another question that I know is the kinds of things you worked a lot on, and is speaking about local communities and how to help those communities preserve the rainforest and biodiversity. And is there a model that you have seen that can be replicated in other parts? In this case, for instance, in our Amazonian countries, as we all know, with over 350 different indigenous communities, and in terms of landmass, one of the biggest in the world.
Yeah. I think the Amazonian challenge and the work with the communities. We have several different Amazons. The really core of the rainforest and other areas around that are already devastated, but must somehow be incorporated another time to the economy. We have the transition areas, we have the cities in Amazon. So we have a lot of different Amazons to deal with. But I deeply believe that this kind of connection with the bioeconomy, but there is a lot of things about sometimes not so tangible. I think we need different solutions, and one of them is to involve and to learn with them, with different cultures, more than 300 different indigenous peoples, learn as we have been trying to do for almost 20 years with them, but at the same time give them the opportunities to access markets and income, to have a life with the dignity they deserve, and they will help to keep the forest alive. We need to bring together carbon taxes. We need to put together to work in another scale with the areas that are already devastated. So there are a set of different solutions to be tested. I am nowadays deeply involved in some other projects besides Natura, but Natura is also included, trying to understand how to regenerate the restoration process in large scale with agroforestries, with different kinds of products, much more richer than a monoculture and things like that, and how to really amplify this experience to reach real scale. So there is no one solution, but it's many of them another time.
Guilherme, you were one of the very first companies to become a big corporation. You equally have seen and really were at the center of really this whole theory of stakeholder capitalism. Do you see, once that, the minute that you did this, do you see other corporations trying to follow suit? You mentioned ESG. We know today that companies that put a very high importance on ESG, and this is the environmental, the social, and the government safeguards, are companies that are getting better results in the markets. Do you see, certainly this is something, as you correctly said, for listed companies, for global companies, something critical, but do you see follow through at the level of the more family type businesses, and perhaps watching you as a leader, the way of what you've done, or do you think we're still a long ways from that?
As everything with 7.5 billion, nothing is easy or not complex. But I feel that it's growing, the commitment. My hope is in great part based on next generations that are coming, our kids that are growing, that are taking the control, and I hope and I trust they will bring other ways to deal with our challenges. No, I'm sorry, President Moreno. Sometimes I am out of.
No worries. The point is, do you see companies after?
Yes, for sure. I think that there is room for small companies, and it's growing the number of startups that looks at the business not only as in the economic side, but a way to promote change and things like that. And so the connections to share knowledge about this experience, it's deeply important. This was one of the reasons why we became a B Corp, to get access to a new roadmap for our own development, but at the same time to help the movement to enhance its reach, to amplify the movement. And I believe it's growing. As always, we would love to see things are going faster, but it's growing. And this, in this sense, I think the pandemic has really brought an acceleration in this process. And I trust that we will have important advances that we are facing already, some of them, but let's see how they will be turned to reality. But I trust that it's growing.
Okay. I know, Guilherme, that as we said at the beginning, and Juliano will tell us, there's a lot of very anxious entrepreneurs listening to you, wanting to learn a lot, but I'm sure they're equally anxious to know who won. So I want you now to that Juliano tell us who are the winners, and they will have an opportunity to talk to them. And finally, for you to, I'm sure, give them a lot of advice, because as you correctly point out, these young entrepreneurs are the ones that are going to help us change the face of the world. Their sense of mission, their sense of purpose, the reality that they want their companies to represent their own values. These are the kinds of things that make me so optimistic of the future. So with that, over to you, Juliano, and tell us who the winners are.
Thank you, President Moreno. It's my honor to announce the winners. So I'm gonna start by asking the winners during the process of announcement. If I announce your name, please turn on your camera so you can join the conversation with President Moreno and Guilherme Lealabout. So I'm pleased to announce that the third place of Rethink Plastics Innovation Challenge is PANPLAS from Brazil, and the leader of the project is Felipe Cardoso. Parabéns, Felipe. The second place for a $20,000 prize is ALGRAMO, Brian Bauer from Chile. Congratulations, Brian and ALGRAMO team. And the winner of the first place of Rethink Plastics for the $30,000 prize is the project ATANDO CABOS de Chile from Francisco Cruz, que está aquí con nosotros. Así que, Presidente, over to you, and congratulations to all the winners and the 9 finalists. We are committed not only to support you on the next ventures, but also to see your projects having a greater impact in the region. President Moreno.
Oh, well, first of all, congratulations to all the winners. Let me begin by asking Felipe, Caro Felipe, parabéns. Tell us how you're feeling, and more importantly, if you were in an elevator with Guilherme, it's a 30-floor elevator, it's just the two of you because it's now the pandemic, you're covered with a face mask. What would you tell Guilherme about your project and why he should believe in your project?
So first, thank you very much. We're very happy and honored with this award. It has been a long journey of 6 years with many challenges overcome and many to come. And we feel very fulfilled and satisfied as we consolidate each stage and generate value with impact social environmental benefits. PANPLAS produces a quality recycled raw material and recovered lubricant oil from used lubricant oil packaging and through our own innovative and eco-friendly production system, composed by equipment and process that performs the decontamination and recycle of this packaging in an ecological way, without the use of any water, without waste generation, and less cost than the water process used by our competitors. So all inputs such as the plastic, oil, and label are recovered, recycled, and sold with excellent quality.
Very good. And you heard Guilherme, definitely, you hear Guilherme, and is the kind of person I want to be when I grow up. But for you, as you think about the whole set of aspirations that you have for having even further impact in this space in Latin America, what do you think about? What are the kinds of things that you would be looking at when you are 20 years out, in the kinds of things that you think you have been able or would have been able to accomplish?
So we have already an installed production pilot plant here in Brazil, operating for 3 years, with which we have generated social environmental benefits. And so in those 6 years, we have consolidated all stages: 3 years of technology development, 3 years of business development. And now with this prize and the IDB financial support, we're able to achieve our goals for 2021 is to reach the pilot production plant maximum capacity of 1,200 tons per year. And by 2025 to reach 6 production plants in the Southeast, South and Northwest East regions of Brazil with a volume of 20,000 tons per year. So in addition to expanding and consolidating the solution in the Brazilian market for the recycling of lubricated plastic packaging, we also have a goal, and we are already developing new applications for other plastic waste, such as plastic packaging for cooking oil and paints, chemicals. So, and also reach other countries of Latin America and worldwide with this technological solution installed in containers.
Thank you very much, Felipe. And I'd like to ask the same question of Brian. Again, the question is, you're in an elevator, you got over 20 plus floors, and you're there just with Guilherme, and you want to tell him what your project is and why he should put attention to it. Brian, and congratulations.
Sure, thank you so much. It's such an honor. We're thrilled and so excited. Thank you so much. So our project is basically catalyzing reusable packaging systems. We want to make reusable packaging convenient, the lowest possible cost, and make it very attractive to people. Doing something that moves really fast, like beverages, is really critical. And with the support that we can gain from you guys and other people in your network, we can help convert people's minds in Latin America so that people are keen to use reusable packaging, and we want to be a key part of making reusable packaging common and used for all different types of products. And once again, it's a huge honor to have this award and support from you guys, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. And the last question, which I'll also make to Francisco, think about, as you project your company in the next 20 years, what are the areas where you see not only the growth, but the areas that you want to be participating in?
That's a really, really good question. I guess what we want to do is we want to expand our system into as many markets as possible so that we can help as many people as possible buy products conveniently for the lowest possible cost in a responsible, sustainable, circular manner so that the packaging can stay in the economy and out of the environment. So it creates benefits for people rather than consequences to the environment.
Well, many congratulations, Brian. And now, Francisco, I mean, you're the big winner, the gold medal. Tell us about, again, tell Guilherme what your project is all about, and talk to us about how you did it and where you're at now.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited and grateful at this moment. So I really would like to thank everybody at the MIT Solve team and at the IDB, and of course the jury. I mean, this is really important for us. And although I'm one of the founders of ATANDO CABOS, I stand here representing a lot of people. There are many people involved in this. So this award goes to all of them, and a special thanks to the ones that are involved on the process of waste management and recycling. Those guys do all the effort. So, well, in ATANDO CABOS, what we seek is to end the massive contamination of plastics. We're using the Chilean Patagonia as an initial challenge, where we recycle, at this moment, discarded fishing and fish farming gear. We're talking about ropes, nets, buoys, pipes, and different kind of stuff. We implemented over there a circular economy model with a social, environmental, and economical impact. We developed technology to obtain high quality recycled plastic and keeping its history from its origin as waste to its transformation into final product. So what we aim to do here, our ultimate goal is to end with the discarding of plastics, is trying to reuse those plastics into high-end products. And for that, we have to stimulate the demand and incorporate the local communities in this complete chain that we're building.
And thinking of the future, Francisco, how do you see your company evolving? And by the way, you know, Chile was probably one of the first countries in all of Latin America to basically ban one-use plastics. How much did that help your business develop?
Regarding the expansion, or what are our aims now, or for the times coming on, definitely we want to expand our model. And I think a good vision that we've had is that we do not want to expand our recycling model, installing more machines in more countries. There is installed capacity and a lot of knowledge in the different countries. What we're doing here is building a model, and we are actually putting that model on a software, on a platform software, and that's what we want to expand. So we really want to expand this to different regions because the contamination of the oceans, it's a global problem, and also to other industries. You have also a lot of contamination inland. I mean, on the agricultural business, mining business, those are important Chilean industries. They also have this problem. So the idea here is to make a cultural change and try to expand that. Your second question was about the plastic bag ban. Personally, I don't like the bannings, like to ban things, but the one good thing of that is that it generates like conscience at every level, you know, from the people on the street to high government officials and to top executives in big companies, and that helps us to make our conversations deeper and for us to explain our vision and get these ideas onto tangible projects. So it's been something positive in that sense.
Well, thank you very much, Francisco. Many congratulations to you, to Brian, to Felipe. You should feel very proud. And now I would like to just ask Guilherme, who I'm sure not only to you, but the other finalists who are with us in this call, and to many others who are looking at you as people to follow. From your own experience, you probably feel some sense of deja vu when you were starting your business, Guillermo. What advice would you give them, and what have you learned from listening to them, Guilherme?
First of all, congratulations, Felipe, Brian, Francisco, and all the other finalists. It's this kind of initiative and products that may make possible the change we need. My innovation is the key to create the new world we want. And we know that innovation implies in mistakes, implies in turn the key, start another time, and never give up. What I would like to share is embedded in your purpose, don't give up, go ahead, be persistent, learn through the process and go ahead. We are together, we need to find solutions for plastics, for social inclusion, reduce inequality, so many things. The world is full of challenges to guys like you entrepreneurs that want to create a real value for the whole. Congratulations another time. And thank you, President Moreno.
Thank you, Guilherme. It's been a fabulous conversation, and it's really inspirational to hear all of the finalists, to hear what you're doing. And like Guilherme says, it's all about that persistence, you know, where it's that perseverance, is that desire to go ahead. And that is not about rationality, that is about how do you sweat it out, how you go forward. And that's when you listen to leaders like Guilherme, what they've done is that in the worst of adversity, they always had a goal, they always had a vision, and they stuck with it. And life is that. So, and life is going to require of all of us to do much more. So I want to again thank all of the IDB team who's worked with us on this, and of course, Juliano and everybody at the bank for this whole idea of Rethink Plastics. And this all started with another wonderful Latin American, and a dear friend, Rafael Raif, who happens to be the president of none other than MIT. And he had this vision to try to create, MIT has thousands and thousands of patents that are developed by their own students every year. And he wanted to create something that was meaningful with MIT Solve. And then they partnered with us as we took this idea to Latin America, and we focused in this case on plastics. So I want to especially thank Rafael and the whole team at MIT for wanting to partner with us. And to all of you for being with us today. This is the kinds of things that in the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of tremendous pessimism, it is always innovations like yours that make us optimistic that we can all together build a better world. And with that thought, muito obrigado, caro Guilherme, grande amigo, grande abraço.
Parabéns. Obrigado.
Gracias.
Tchau.